It's gonna get a little funky up in here.
It's Pushing Orange Juice, week 2. And excuse me while I get distracted for the next 10 minutes. I got to lock in some round 2 Century Tournament of Champions golf picks here. So if you guys couldn't mind introing yourselves for the next 30 seconds or so, that'd be lovely.
I'll let the shortest go first.
All right, I'll gladly go first then because biggest should go last. I just want to say, I just want to clear the air. Like I said last week, I do my research. I watched the Sleepers podcast this week. G had a comment where he said there are no fans of the podcast besides Big Ten fans. I felt slighted. I felt disrespected. I felt overlooked, which happens a lot. Like Carr said, I'm short. I almost held out. I was thinking about renegotiating a contract. This was almost a Le'Veon Bell Pittsburgh situation.
I can't believe that Dion is really going to challenge me to be the biggest diva on this show. I'm insulted that you think you can hold out after show 1. Like that's absolutely unacceptable. That you think that. So you were inspired by Antonio Brown, basically.
Yeah, I almost ran off the camera.
Were you planning on running off the show?
Yeah, I probably was gonna keep my shirt on though. I've hit the gym twice in 2022 though. New year, new me.
Okay, proud of you. But hey,
one more than
Cartel is back. The fan of the number 1 team in the Big Ten basketball conference is back. We got some winning bets. We got Shark Tank. We got all the good stuff from last time. We got Greg with the fresh cut. If anyone did not notice, the boy is clean. I like the energy right now. I'm liking the pink hoodie's fire, Dion. I like the way it contrasts with your white microphone. I love the energy.
Play. We're 33 hours away from Klay Thompson's debut. I'm not a math guy. That's probably wrong, but somewhere along those lines.
For those of you who are math guys listening to this, you have probably just done the math and realized we're recording this on a Friday afternoon. You'll be seeing this on a Saturday morning. As we go forward, these shows will air on Saturdays. Sometimes we will do them live. Sometimes we will pre-record. But if you're wondering why we're not doing a bunch of college basketball line breakdowns, it's because they're not out yet. More on that later. Spoiler alert. Also, I did just make a pretty hefty mimosa, and it is 3:02 p.m. Eastern on a Friday. So.
I just want to say for the math guys out there that were following along with all the math, the 33 hours I said was based on the show's start time Saturday at 8. So just for what it's worth.
Interesting. And also, G, that is to be honest with you and be frank, that's a terrible mimosa.
Oh, what? Is
that
it too orange?
So dark.
It's too orange? All right. Tell me when to stop, Cart.
Did I say stop?
What do you want? Pour all over? Come on. All right. Well, great intro, folks. This is what the people came for with us 3. Let's start with a big game. A big game I will be in Indianapolis for. Not at the game, but I will be in town drinking, producing, etc., doing all the bullshit I always do. The national championship game. Georgia, Alabama. Dion, you tried to tell us, except you also tried to pick Cincinnati, so you didn't try to tell us. But I feel like you were kind of saying this was just going to be what the SEC does. We're stuck with Georgia and Alabama. What do you make of this?
First off, I just want to get started by saying I'm an honest person. As G and Cart know, I came on here and spewed a bunch of Cincinnati propaganda. We were about 5 minutes from kickoff. I was having a horrible week gambling. I bet Bama about 7 different ways. After everything I said on here about Sauce, Kobe, all of them, I bet Bama every possible way I could, and it was smart. I parlayed them with Georgia. Yeah, this is what the SEC does. It was destined. I mean, it's honestly like grown men versus kids. Like, it's just Georgia bullied Michigan start to finish. It's like I said, when they get up 14-0, I don't know what Cade McNamara can do. Michigan's one of the most swagless universities I've ever seen in my life, too. Like, I heard the Pump It Up song for the first time this weekend. I mean, what are we doing? I don't even know how you get from point A to point B to where that's your theme song.
Dion, how do you feel about Mr. Brightside?
I mean,
stop. Do not lie to yourself. Mr. Brightside slaps. It does.
It's a good
And then
song.
Hail to the Victors was also like horrible. Like the way when I saw Aiden Hutchinson staring at the crowd in the tunnel, I was like, oh, they're getting 50 piece. Like he has no idea what's gonna happen when he walks on this field. He's just there for the moment. He was taking it all in. It looked like Ben Roethlisberger Monday night after playing his final game. He knew it was over.
The moment for me was when the O-line came in with the run the damn ball shirts. I was like, anytime the University of Michigan has coordinated a t-shirt effort, it has gone so south so quickly. I don't understand how they can't just get in front of this instead of not ever figuring out that happens. Cart, I mean, you have to say your piece on Michigan before we can move on.
No, I mean, first of all, I know our great producer Lex is behind the camera right now, just punching air, listening to Dion just absolutely tear apart everything that is the basis of their university, either from the songs to the jerseys to everything. That's gotta be tough to hear, tough pill to swallow. But I will say this: like, there's a notion that the SEC is different, right? Like people say, yeah, they're good, but they're not SEC good. That shit is real life. Like Michigan's O-line is good. They are good. They won O-line of the year. But it's just different. Like the SEC players are different. There's fast, there's SEC fast. There's good, there's SEC good. And now we're to this point. That game wasn't close. That was a dog walking from the beginning. I just unplugged something, but we're back. It's okay. That's why I shouldn't be flailing my arms when I talk. That's on me. But, I mean, that was, never in doubt, Georgia. Even though the over should have hit easily, but Georgia called off the dogs, no pun intended. Like, Michigan got lucky that wasn't worse. If they had Saban behind the helm, we would have had a Michigan State-Alabama game part due.
I have one quick thing I just want to say, and then I'll not say another word about Michigan football for the rest of the year. But I can't believe the entire fan base has moved on to J.J. McCarthy so quickly. Like, this is the same fan base that in October, when I said J.J. McCarthy should be given the ball, everyone was like, no, Cade's great. And now it's like, okay, you made the playoff. Like, you actually made the Final Four. And now we're going to write off the guy who took you to the Final Four for the promised guy who wasn't ready this year. I don't really get that. But, okay, Cart, you said SEC is different. That's the term. But really what we mean there is Georgia and Alabama are different, right? And so now we're finding ourselves in a game with Georgia and Alabama where Alabama, the gold standard in college football, is 3-point underdogs. The over-under is 52. Alabama's plus 125 on the money line. And as far as I know, Stetson Bennett, the guy who was disrespected and heard your disrespect, is still quarterbacking Georgia in this game. Cart, where are you leaning from a betting perspective?
First of all, I don't care if Stetson Bennett becomes the second coming of Joe Burrow. His name is Stetson. Okay, he can do whatever he wants. He can throw for 809 TDs in one game and go smoke a cigar like Joe Burrow after the game. It doesn't matter. His name is Stetson Bennett. So let's move on from that. Two things with this game. This is going against the betting commandments right here because, one, you can't bet against Bama, and two, way down the list of the betting commandments, if you get teams like Alabama or, a Brady-led team, a Brian-led team, with plus money, like you're supposed to kind of take that. Like in recent years when the Chiefs would get plus money in games, like you take that. That's disrespectful. It was disrespectful to give the Chiefs like a -2.5 line. Not so much this year, but just previously. In this game, I am going to string away from the commandments. It is what it is. I'm still a holy person. Betting gods, please look down on me as I either pay or receive money from my bookie, most likely pay. But I'm rolling with Georgia in this game. I think Georgia is the better football team in this game. I think on that day when Alabama played them and beat them, they just kind of, had a better day. I think Georgia is the better football team in this game. I will be picking Georgia to win this football game. And Greg, if you don't mind reiterating what the line was at, was it 3.5?
It's -3 right now.
-3. I might buy a half point on that, just so no funky stuff happens. But I think Georgia wins the football game.
You have to buy the half a point. So that's essentially where I'm at, Cart, and I have a play for this that I'll officially unveil when we get to best bets at the end of the show. But if you're going to side with Georgia here, you have to buy the half a point. I like this game could easily be a 3-point win. We It's called pushing orange juice, but we're not out for pushes. We're out for wins. But here's the thing. Georgia lost to Alabama about a month ago by 17 points. And Georgia's favored by 3. That's fishy. Like, no matter what we want to say.
It's hard to beat a team twice, but go ahead.
It's hard to beat a team twice. But my point is, like, let's do some psychoanalysis here. Objectively, that's fishy. Like, Alabama's the gold program. If this was flipped and Georgia was the gold program, they were favored by 3. It's like, okay, that's Georgia. But, like, Alabama should always be favored 1. Alabama beat this team a month ago, too. And because of both of those reasons, I like Georgia because this line is too fishy. When the line is fishy, Vegas knows, right? Vegas knows. Vegas wants everyone to take Alabama in this spot. So smart bettors, what do? You don't do what Vegas wants. You take Georgia -3. That will be in my best bets. Dion, you seem like you disagree here.
Yeah, well, is this a second straight episode where you spoke about like Georgia? I can't remember what you did last week, but you gave every reason why you should bet one of these teams. It was Georgia. You gave every reason to bet Georgia, then you took Michigan anyway. So I completely completely disagree with what you're saying. The same way Carter's hairline fades left, I'm gonna fade his pick. I love Bama in this game. If the coaches were flipped, I would love Georgia. I think it's very hard to beat a team twice unless you're Nick Saban. Kirby Smart, I don't think is that good of a coach to where he's going to make the adjustments. I think Nick Saban's more so likely to find more weaknesses in Georgia than he found in the conference championship. That game was over so quickly. I don't think they showed everything that they could have against Georgia either. If it was closer, like maybe they would have had to unleash everything, but I mean, that game was over like midway through the second quarter. It looked closer like on the score, like at the end. But the line is only this small because people want to pretend Michigan's good. They fucking stink. It's time to just admit that.
First of all,
they stink.
They don't.
They
stink.
They stink.
Question for you. No, I got a question for Dion. Since you want to talk about teams sucking, I heard that Cincinnati sucked. I heard that Cincinnati was bad. If it wasn't for Luke Fickell turning into mother God bleeping 3-yard out, run the ball, I'm scared as hell. I'm scared to lose the game. Cincinnati could have had a chance in that game. Alabama looked shaky. Okay, Cincinnati's defense.
But why did they look shaky though? It's because
Dion, I am talking. Okay, that Cincinnati defense looked great against Alabama. You want to know who had a better defense than Cincinnati this year? The Georgia Bulldogs. All right, that's a damn good defense.
What's the question you had for me?
What I'm saying is, why you riding with
Bama? Styles make matchups. It's like the boxing thing. Styles make fights. Cincinnati's defense is perfect against Georgia because of Sauce and Kobe. Exactly what I told you to. Georgia's secondary is not that good. That's their weakness. The Heisman's on the other side. Styles make fights. I agree Georgia has a better defense overall, but like, which is the one that's better to exploit Bama's like strengths?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Look, either team could win this game, right? Like they're both here for a reason. We will not be shocked either way if either team wins. If either team wins comfortably, I don't think I would be shocked. But I do, just based on the eye test of last week. And you can say Michigan sucks. Michigan doesn't suck. Michigan's good. Like Michigan beating Ohio State the way they did, and then Ohio State just flipping a switch against Utah. I mean, like, oh, we want to score every single time out. Like, that's a win. Okay. Like Michigan was the 3rd best team in the country this season. Cincinnati was probably the 4th, but like there's a gap between where Michigan and Cincinnati are. Alabama was shaky against Cincinnati. Georgia absolutely dog walked Michigan.
That's what I was going to say. What I would be more intrigued by than this Georgia-Bama game is if Michigan and Cincinnati played.
Oh, like Michigan wins. Michigan wins.
I don't know. I would like to see that game. They should implement, like, I don't know, the loser of the 2 playoff games plays for the Sugar Bowl or something.
Opt out of that?
How many people opt out of every bowl game?
Well, that's different. So they don't opt out of the college football playoff. I guarantee they're
that's
opting
true,
out
but
of
like,
the bronze medal
what's
game.
the difference? Like, Cincinnati would show up.
Would
Michigan
they?
Wouldn't.
I think Cincinnati would show up.
Why?
Hell no. Sauce Gardner.
Because they have to prove that they belong there, and if they can beat the other team that was there,
Prove
it's
that
better
they belong. They made it.
But they got like it was close-ish, but a non-Power 5 is probably not making it again anytime soon until they expand.
Yeah, they wouldn't play. That's a horrible take by you, Dion. That might be.
That game would be way
Let's see.
more
Can
entertaining.
we mute
Yeah,
Dion? How do we do that?
maybe
Can
he should
we
walk
like put
off.
him in timeout for the next segment or something? He deserves punishment.
I'm starting to think Dion maybe should walk off.
All right, so
Hold up.
Dion's on Alabama money line. Carter and I are both on Georgia -2.5 with a little buy a point there. And I believe all three of us are using those in our best bets. So we just spoiled half of the final segment of the show, but that's fine. Let's move on to professional football, NFL. Final week of the NFL regular season. It's a total mess. It's an absolute mess. I was looking at lines. I don't understand who's playing, who's not, who's motivated, who's not. I think that adding the 17th game is the dumbest thing the NFL's ever done. I don't care. The season should have already been over. Like, we're just getting an extra week of horrible football. And there's maybe one game where both teams are going to try at full strength here. I just don't get it. I'm not excited about it. Fantasy football is over. And all I know is the Detroit Lions have a football game that they're going to try and win that will end up hurting their draft position against a Green Bay Packers team that's going to play no one. That line is Green Bay -3 right now in Detroit against a Lions team that probably will be very motivated to go beat their quote-unquote rival and end the year on a high note for Dan Campbell. Carter, you are a Lions fan. First of all, are you going to be in the building for this game?
No, I gave the tickets to one of my clients.
Wow, businessman.
It's okay. I don't really like them like that, so I gave them this game. If I liked them, they would have got Kyler Murray tickets. Psych, because I was there.
All right, the update that I see right now is Lions +3.5, over under 45. Lions +155 on the money line. Your thoughts, Carter?
Let me walk y'all through this, okay? I'm a lifelong Lions fan. Lifelong. It always comes down to us playing the Packers, and it always comes down to a meaningless game. And it's the game we win. It's typically the game that will knock us from the 2nd pick to like the 7th pick, or knock us from like the 3rd, like to the 12th, something crazy like that. A little different with this game. I'm pretty positive we can't move from number 2 unless something really freaky happens. So we are locked in on the number 2 spot, I believe, unless something absolutely crazy happens. But this is a game that we're going to win, okay? Jordan Love stinks. If you didn't know, if you haven't seen him, he is not a good football player. Stinky, all right? Up until this point, has not shown me anything. The Packers are going to be sitting everybody. They have absolutely no reason to play anybody in this game. No Aaron Rodgers, no Devontae Adams, none of their weapons. They probably won't even play A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones in this football game. There's absolutely no reason for them to do that. They are set. They are good. They are clocked out. They are looking to the playoffs. Those guys aren't even going to put on pads, probably. The Lions will win this football game. They have Jared Goff back. We've been competitive somewhat, been making a little bit of drop splashes here.
Wait. We've been competitive somewhat?
I said somewhat because we ended up getting blown out, but we do like fluky shit. We beat the Cardinals, like we do stuff like that.
A 22-point loss to Seattle to, I believe, what are they, 6-10? A 22-point loss to a 6-10 team. We're saying we've been competitive?
Competitive, okay? All right. The game was closer than that at some point, but okay, actually it wasn't closer than that. We got blown out. But what I'm saying is it's the last game of the year for the Lions. They are going to win this football game. I promise you this. They are going to do it. Jared Goff's back. He's way better than David Blau. David Blau stinks himself. Jared Goff can randomly play like a serviceable human being / quarterback. We're going to be at full strength. We are going to win this football game. Like it's a guarantee.
Carter, you said the game was closer than the 22-point loss. With 14 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third quarter, the Lions were down 38-7.
And we had a couple touchdowns, a couple onside kicks. We made it scary.
The game was literally never closer.
I watched it from start to finish. It's not always about the scoreboard, damn it.
So you're asking us to believe in Jared Goff is the pitch there. That Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Jared Love.
Jordan Love? Yes.
Jordan Love, sorry.
Yes. And I'm willing to make a first ever push an OJ wager on this game that the Lions win. If any of you two weirdos want to take the Packers.
I feel like that's where you sub in here, Dion.
I mean, I kind of want to just because I don't know if I believe the rumors that Aaron Rodgers and them aren't playing. Don't they have to play for the 1 seed? What's their record?
13-3.
I'm not a math guy to be able to do tiebreakers at
No,
all.
they don't gotta play for the 1 seed.
Is it clinched?
Yes.
But Aaron Rodgers wants that MVP, unless it's the most vaccinated player award, like he said on like he said on Pat McAfee's show. But yeah, I don't. I mean, if this wasn't like Carter's team, we're not even discussing this game.
Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is not playing in this game. Why the hell else would this game be -3.5?
I don't know. Maybe they don't know if he's going to play or not. If he plays, the line moves. They're assuming he isn't.
Keep a watch out, because if it is Aaron Rodgers playing, hammer -3.5.
Let me look it up.
I'm just saying.
Carter, you truly think there's going to be like a lot of rah, do it for coach spirit for the Lions?
Let's go eat some kneecaps one last time.
Okay. I mean, look, it's good to see you riding for the team that you would die for, but they've killed you a lot. You've died a few too many times for this team.
Oh, I died a lot. I've been
I'm just happy that, like you said, they're not going to go from like the 7th to 15th pick like normal with this. I couldn't care less what happens in this game. I cannot fathom betting on this game. So congrats to you for having the courage to put some money on the Detroit Lions.
You're not watching?
No. Why would I watch this game?
Aren't you a Lions fan?
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers said he plans to play. And he said, I expect Devontae to play and our guys to play.
Shut up. There's no way.
I'm literally going to text you the quote. Did we just get on this show anticipating they're not going to play with no idea?
Bro, all right, hold on. No, go ahead. Hey, y'all go ahead with your takes on the game real quick. I'm about to look up the NFC playoff picture.
There is no take on this game.
They are locked into the 1 seed, but because of the bye week, them having the bye week, Rodgers is saying he plans to play because 2 weeks off is a long time.
Bro, the Packers have the number. There's nothing they can do.
I just texted you the quote. I'm not saying.
Yeah, all right.
So
I'm not Aaron Rodgers.
Keep your dumbass quote. I'm telling you what it is.
In the future, when I group text you guys and say, please prepare picks for these segments, please do a little research on those picks prior to just.
I did do research. Deion's trying to discredit it. The Packers have the number 1 seed locked up.
If you Google Aaron Rodgers, I Googled, is Aaron Rodgers out Sunday? And literally everything that comes up is Aaron Rodgers plans to play in week 18 versus Lions.
Look, I'm literally the most is down. I'm just chugging the champagne at this point. Disrespectful.
Maybe he won't, but like.
Aaron Rodgers says he wants to play.
I'm drinking a champagne named after Andre Drummond, by the way. This has been a really low point in my life. Let's just move on from this disaster of a segment. Look, who cares at this point? The Lions will probably win because we don't want them to win. And they'll probably lose. They'll probably tie, honestly. So what's the point in betting on it? Deion, I believe you wanted to talk about a game where teams actually will care and will play some healthy players. That would be the Raiders and the Chargers. The line that I see right now is the Chargers -3 on the road against the Raiders. Carter, you have a very funny face right now.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm just gonna look up what heavy.com has to say about that game.
There's NFL.com too that says Aaron Rodgers.
No, Deion, go ahead with your picks. I'm just gonna see what heavy.com has to say about this. They always got great shit.
And on the injury report, he's listed as questionable, not out. Like I don't think a decision.
All right, we've moved on.
But I like the Chargers in this game. I think the Raiders stink. It seems like every week someone's getting arrested from that team. I hate David Carr. I hate his brother. I hate everything they stand for. I'll never root for him.
Do you know, Deion, off the top of your head, if Darren Waller is going to be activated off the COVID list or no?
No, I don't think it matters. No.
It's just a trap.
It was, yeah.
Carter doesn't care at all.
So,
by the way,
that's a big factor for that game. It is.
I don't think this is a road game either. I think you're going to see as many Chargers fans as Raider fans there, with it being Vegas. You might even, I think I saw some Chiefs fans on Twitter planning to go there and troll. Like, it's going to be neutral field.
That game kind of scares me though, because the one thing about the Chargers, because I have bet on them a lot this year, they're a fun team to bet on. Justin Herbert's fun, offense is fun, Eckler, all those dudes. They cannot stop the run for their life. The Raiders do have Josh Jacobs, not the best offensive line, but they do have running back weapons that might come into play. But also, you never want to trust David Carr in a clutch situation. Like, this is basically who would I rather have on my side to trust in a kind of, I don't know, tight situation. I'd rather have Justin Herbert on my side than David Carr.
So you said you cannot trust Derek Carr.
Sorry, Derek Carr. I said David. And
you cannot trust Derek Carr in clutch situations. The last 3 weeks, the Raiders have won 3 consecutive games by 1 score or less that all required late drives by Derek Carr.
Yeah, you want to know something else? You want to know something else about that? Shout out to NFL Red Zone. You want to know why they were in that situation? Because Derek Carr stinks.
Hey, just saying you can't trust Derek Carr in the clutch is legitimately false, because the last 3 weeks he has clutchly led them to must-have victories to put them in this spot where they are home dogs. They're 3-point home dogs against, it might not be a home game. I don't know if the Raiders have fans or not. But look, I have a hard time believing that trust Justin Herbert makes more sense than trust the team that's won 3 straight in the clutch. Herbert's classic thing from his career so far, I get he's a fun fantasy guy. He's a fun red zone guy. He looks in general like he's the model from a Proactive commercial in the after picture. Like he got a nice haircut and most of his acne scars are gone. But in general, I don't trust him in games that matter. I trust him in the week 4 Chiefs upset that he pulls in prime time, right? And everybody's all high on the Chargers after that. But then down the stretch of the season, I don't trust Justin Herbert. I don't like it. Also, the most important thing with this game, John Madden is dead. Okay? I just want to say, and pour some out for our homie John Madden. I'm sorry, that's horrible. But John Madden is no longer alive. And the Raiders are going to honor his spirit, as they did last week, with a road victory over the Colts. I'm not betting against the Raiders. I'm not betting against the Raiders until I see them lose.
Okay. Also, I don't you know what? I talked about how the energy on this show is great. Energy's been terrible since that point. Okay. Y'all are pissing me off because you don't let me say something, but we let Greg go on a tangent about Justin Herbert like he's got a 10-year career to go based off of, like he's in his 2nd year in the NFL. Because he's had so many clutch games, many opportunities.
I kind of agree with G.
Can Justin Herbert even buy a drink yet?
What'd you say?
Can Justin Herbert even legally buy drinks yet?
Yes.
Was he 22?
He was a 4-year starter at Oregon.
I'm just saying.
You think Justin Herbert's 20 years old?
Like Justin Herbert's been in the league for 10 years. Like we have such a blueprint on what he does in the
No, I'm saying, look, I think this Chargers team is hella talented. And I think that if Justin Herbert was as good as the idea of Justin Herbert, this team's probably 11-5 or 12-4. And instead they're 9-7 with a loss to the Texans 2 weeks ago, with a loss to the Chiefs 3 weeks ago. With they lose to most of the good teams that they play. They beat up on cupcakes and they beat up on good teams in November when it doesn't matter. And now it's clutch time. I don't buy it. Look, if I'm wrong, Carter, I'll eat my words. I would love for Justin Herbert to make a playoff run. He's a fun quarterback for sure. The powder blue unis, awesome. But John Madden's ghost, fellas. I have not heard a rebuttal to the John Madden ghost point. That matters.
What would you rather watch next weekend? Chargers Bengals or Raiders Bengals? Herbert Burrow or Carr Burrow?
Herbert Burrow for sure.
That's exactly why I'm rooting for the Chargers this weekend.
But that's why the Chargers won't win, because as an NFL fan, what you want to watch never happens.
Roger Goodell is going to do everything in his power to not let the Raiders win.
You don't think Roger Goodell is going to celebrate January 6th with Derek Carr and try to get him a win this weekend?
The NFL hates Al Davis still, and he's been dead for however many years. They've been screwing the Raiders over for decades because of Al Davis.
Look, nobody wants to see the Raiders win.
Yes.
And because of that reason, I'm betting the Raiders.
That's been your current theme of this. You say all these things about why they should win.
No,
And
I gave you only reasons why I think the Raiders are going to win. You gave reasons why the Raiders are going to win. You said they can't stop the run, and they got a great run game.
But Josh Jacobs stinks. I was gonna say that. I'm a 3-year fantasy owner of Josh Jacobs. I hate him.
How long is the list of players that don't stink? Like 20, 25?
At running back? I mean, there's a lot of good running backs. Jacobs is not even a top 20 running back. There's no way.
Top 20?
There's no way. I think the Niners probably got 3 better than him.
I mean, that's a lot of running backs.
That's a lot of running backs.
I mean, I'm not going to list off. We don't have all day for me to list off my top 20, but the Niners got at least 2 better than him.
Can you name 2 Niners running backs that are better than Josh Jacobs?
Mostert and Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell's not better than Josh Jacobs.
Yes, Mostert's ran the ball 7 times this year. He's torn more ligaments than he has scored touchdowns.
Well, when he's healthy, he's better than Jacobs. I think that the Packers got 2
when
better
I'm
than
healthy. I'm not fat. That's not going to happen. What you just
Austin Eckler.
Out here?
Eckler, the one on the other side's better than him. The Packers got 2 better than him, and Dillon and Aaron Jones. There's a lot of running backs in the league that are better than Jacobs.
It's also a lot of teams that don't have. Who are you taking, Rex Burkhead or Josh Jacobs?
That's fair. But, I mean, Kenyon Drake, his backup, might be better than him.
Josh Jacobs is wild.
Okay. Any other NFL games that we should hit on for either of you?
Niners, Rams.
Okay, let's go to Niners, Rams.
When in your in situation.
Rams minus 4.5 at home.
Rams.
Over under is 44.5. Niners money line plus 175 to our resident Niners fan, Dion. Are you taking the Niners?
Yeah, look, those are our sons. 5-0 in the last 5 games against the Rams. I think Kyle Shanahan's 7-1 overall against, or 7-2 overall against McMid. That's his son. It's just a good matchup. Styles make fights. I love the matchup for us. I did, right before the show, I turned on the Niners practice on YouTube. I saw Jimmy G trot onto the field extremely confidently. I don't know where the confidence comes from. Personally, I was hoping to watch him walk onto the field with a cast over his thumb or something. So I'm not as confident as I was about an hour ago. But, yeah, I mean, it's still the Rams, so we'll be all right. Plus, we need it.
Carter, Matthew Stafford. Can you trust him along this upcoming playoff run?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said with the Lions, last game Stafford, that boy's different. All right, he gets to it. But if he plays, but this game means something, so I guess you can't really look at it the same way as you did with the Lions. But look, I know that Stafford has struggled these past couple games, But all in all, I think that the Rams are a better football team. I know what you're saying, Dion. I understand what you're, obviously a team could have another team's number. Is what it is. The Michigan Wolverines had Rutgers numbers. They were Rutgers was 0-14 all time against them, and they won. So maybe it's the week where people break streaks. I think the Rams are a better football team. I think they're hearing all the murmurs. I think Matthew Stafford should be hearing all the murmurs about people doubting him. But also he deserves some of that doubt with the way he's played. But yeah, I think that this Rams team has too much talent, and I'm going to take the talent with the backs against the wall.
I will say, just, we're an honest podcast. I want to say half the Niners secondary is on the COVID list right now, including all 3 starters at corner.
Also, while we're out here being honest, which is great, that should be the ethos of Pushing Orange Juice. Let's also honestly state that we are not a podcast. We are a live show. So just
did I say podcast?
You did. You said we're an honest podcast. We're not a podcast.
All right. Well,
Dion, you mentioned something about 5 straight. The only 5 straight that matters for me in this game is that the Rams have won 5 straight games this season.
Go over how they won those 5 straight, though.
But here's the point. If we're going to say, Stafford's been so bad, this team is winning in spite of him not playing great. If Stafford just plays passable, I think the Rams are maybe a top 3 team in the NFL. And they're very capable of winning even when he doesn't play well. I'm curious, do the Rams need this game? Do they care? I would assume they're playing for seeding, but do guys really care about seeding even? You know what I mean?
Well, they would have, if they lose and the Cardinals win, they gotta go on the road next week.
Okay, so they're gonna come out firing. Then in that case, give me the Rams.
But if they win and the Falcons win, then we get to play them again next week, which is their worst fucking nightmare. That's their worst nightmare.
Yeah. So are you on the money line or are you taking the points?
I'm taking money line. I have to. My pride and ego and happiness relies on the Niners winning this game. Unless the Falcons jump out 21-0, then I'll just turn it off and play FIFA.
All I needed to hear right there, because your first reasoning was pride, and that's what loses bets. I'll tell you that right now. My pride has me betting on the Lions a lot this recently. Not this week, doesn't count, but that pride can get you in trouble.
Yeah. So congratulations to all our listeners who have sat through 35 minutes of this just to realize that every pick that Dion and Carter give you is just them backing their favorite fucking teams. That's literally all this is.
I actually had some stats and some facts to back mine.
No.
Look,
Let's bring on someone who does some research and has a lot more success, quite frankly, than we do with bets. We're going to bring on Blair Montgomery, a.k.a. Monty Parlay. You've probably seen this man all over Twitter at some point in the last 6 months. He's been hitting these ridiculous long shots parlays. It seems like every single week. I did a little thing with him on Spotify Green Room a couple months ago. Was fantastic. Super fun to talk to him. So we've got him here today for our favorite segment, Shark Tank. Blair, what's going on, dude? How you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing well.
Thanks
for getting here, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, so how this is going to work, if you didn't see this last week, we do a segment called Shark Tank. We're going to go around the horn. All four of us will have one bet, and it is our job to pitch the other three on the panel on why they should tail you on this bet. It could be any type of bet. It could be a player prop. It could be a parlay, a teaser, money line, whatever. So we'll go around the horn. The goal is to get three people to agree that they are tailing your bet. And I'm going to start. I'm going to set the tone as I did last week. I'll go first here, and then we'll save our best for last. We'll have Blair hit clean up. We'll go me, Carter, Dion, Blair in that order.
And also for those keeping track at home, Greg is 0-1 so far in Shark Tank. His Shark Tank bet last week did lose, but go ahead and try to bounce back.
It did lose, and to be clear, folks, the intention behind this segment and what has been clearly communicated to both Dion and Carter has been get something with plus odds, something that's maybe not a lock to hit. And yet these guys like to give out pick'ems and minus 130 favorites for their bet of the week for Shark Tank. So it is what it is. I don't expect mine to hit. Probably like Blair would tell you, he doesn't expect every parlay to hit, but his return will be much more than your little minus 130 bet that Carter wants to bring to the table today. All right, Carter, if you don't mind, can I go forward with my pitch now?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you very much. All right, I'm going golf. This is the first ever golf pick that's been given out on publicity, and I already feel like I've lost this because I feel like Dion is just like, I don't care about golf no matter what I say here.
I golf every week.
I know you do. I don't feel like you like betting on golf though. Anyways,
way to approach, Greg. Insult the sharks that are listening to you. Best of luck with this one.
Fuck it. I'm taking Patrick Cantlay. I'm taking Patrick Cantlay to win this tournament. I see him right now at plus 600, 6-1 odds to win the tournament. It is the second round right now as we speak, as we record this. He is 7 under. He finished the first round 7 under, tied for second. The other guys at the top of that leaderboard, not a bunch of names that I am very afraid of. The biggest one is John Rahm. If it gets down to John Rahm versus Patrick Cantlay, give me Cantlay. He won the FedEx Cup last year. Cantlay was clutch in the cut. He was sinking putts. I think that Cantlay is legitimately the best golfer in the world right now, and you're getting some value on him as if he's just like a top 10 guy instead of the best guy alive, as he was for the stretch run of last season. And this is the type of course that he cuts up, as he did yesterday. He's smooth. He's always putting for birdie. He's never in a dangerous spot. Patrick Cantlay, 6-1, 7 under is my bet. Dion, you look like you hate me right now.
I loved the pick until you tried to like disregard John Rahm. Like he what do you win the that was where you lost me. John Rahm is the best golfer in the world. I do love the pick though.
No, he's not the best. He's not the best golfer in the world.
If it wasn't for COVID, he was up like 10 strokes in that. I can't remember what tournament it was. He gets COVID. He doesn't golf for 2 weeks and then he wins. What was it? The PGA Championship, I believe.
Maybe. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. After not touching a club for weeks. That's the only reason he didn't win the FedEx Cup too. Like, add the points from that win that got taken away from him in the middle of the final round. Like, it was crazy. So, I mean, I do like the pick though. Plus 600 is very good. I'm assuming John Rahm's probably like plus 200, if not like minus money.
I saw him at 4-1.
Oh, that's not that bad either. But I do like Patrick Cantlay. Everything you said about him is correct. I do like that pick. So you got one from me.
Carter?
I am going to go with you on this one, G. First of all, Greg, when it comes to golf bets, I do have to throw this out there. The man does know his stuff, and everything he said about Patrick Cantlay is great. Getting John Rahm, though, at 400 also sounds amazing. Like, if you would have bought that to Shark Tank, then I might have been, like, in. But I still will come in with you. I think those odds are good in this one. But also to say, echo what Dion said, John Rahm is the best golfer in the world right now, besides Charlie Woods.
Rahm also dominated that President's Cup, too. Even though Europe lost, he was the only one that won for Europe every single day. Which, by the way, G, you like tripled down on your Europe bets the whole week.
I did. I 100% did. That didn't go well. So was that 2 yeses, Carter? That was a yes?
Yeah, that's a yes for me.
Okay, I have 2 yeses. Blair, can we make it 3 for 3?
And this is for the Tournament of Champions that's going on right now?
Correct, yeah.
He's a monster. It's gonna be Rahm or Cantlay. So I have no issue with either play. I've actually played that course that they're at right now in Maui. It's kind of insane. But Cantlay's been a monster. I mean, he's been. To be honest, I kind of thought until like midway through the season last year, I always kind of thought he was just like kind of a little bit of a choke artist. Like every time he kind of hang around like late in a big tournament, I just feel like he just always fall off on Sundays. And then finally just put it together last year, and he was just insanely clutch. So, I mean, him or Rahm for sure. I'm a big John Rahm guy. I know a lot of people don't like him. I actually love John Rahm. But I'll support you on that. I mean, he won the FedEx Cup last year. Still pretty good odds. And I think he's like a stroke off the lead. So it's pretty good value.
Hey, that's my first 3 for 3 on Sharp Tank. There was only one 3 for 3 last week. That was our gas profit picks. He gave us Tyrese Halliburton over assist hit like 4 consecutive times. So
This is ridiculous.
So let's see if we can keep that 100% hit rate for 3 for 3s on Sharp Tank. Carter, we're going to go to you next.
Okay, I'm going to switch sports on you guys here. And I really want to convince my dog Blair on this one because I know he's a guy. I want y'all to come in with me too. But this is like when someone comes with that product on Shark Tank that would sell really good on like QVC and they kind of lock in on Lori. Blair's my Lori right now. All right. We're going to the NFL on this one, and we are going the Bengals plus 200 against the Cleveland Browns. Okay. Listen, Dion. Relax, hands down. I'll take questions afterwards. I know everyone is out for the Bengals. They're resting Burrow. They're going to rest mostly all of their starters. The Browns they are a decimated team, okay? They don't have Baker. First of all, Baker stinks in general.
He's terrible.
Team doesn't like each other. They know Baker stinks. They know Baker's going to be their QB for the next year or something, earning $20 million a year. This team is not feeling good about themselves. They've been on a losing streak. They feel like losers. Stefanski's a loser. This team is just full of absolute losers at this point. This is a game where I think they want to be like, let's rally, let's go beat the Bengals. They're in our division. No, it doesn't matter because they stink that bad. When a team has a loser mentality, they can't even take advantage when they're playing backups that are going to be playing for the Bengals. And also, the Lions played the Bengals this year, and they were busting our ass so bad that I saw the backups on the Bengals, and they're not that bad, by the way. They got a really good football team. So getting plus 200 for the Bengals, I think there's some value there. I think the Browns are finished as a franchise and need to shift and rebuild because Baker's not it. They made a mistake picking him. And this is going to be the final little fork, knife in the back, knife in whatever you want to call it, taking a loss in a game that means nothing against backups against a team that's in your division.
Blair, he said the pitch was for you, Blair. You go first.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at the NFL lineup early heading in, I mean, it's still so hard. Week 18, or traditionally week 17, it's so hard initially because it's all depends upon who ends up playing and what they're playing for. A lot of these dudes, if you have guys like a roster full of like established players that know they're in the league, they're under contract, they're not going anywhere. Easily, the last week of the season could be a throw-off game, and I do think that's kind of what Cleveland has. I mean, they have a pretty established roster. It's not like the Lions that has like 80% of the dudes in the Lions are playing just to keep playing the next week. Like we have so many young guys that are on like rookie contracts or like veterans that are, getting a second chance or whatnot. It's just kind of like a scrappy roster. That's why they play hard every week and they have a coach that motivates them. So when I think about this, I think Brandon Allen has actually played like decently well when he's gone in for Cincinnati, and it's a divisional matchup. So there's going to be some hate there. And I would traditionally tend to lean with the team that has better chemistry, and that's Cincinnati. So I'm not saying I would take them necessarily outright, but there's really, really good value on that. It's like plus 215 right now. So, I mean, more than likely I'll have Cincinnati money line and a few parlays on this weekend.
All right, we have a deal.
I would support that.
We can move on to Deion's pick. I don't need to hear from the rest of you two.
Wait, I want to just be able to firmly confirm whether I was in or out. And I just have one question. I like the pitch in general. I'm a believer in the product here. I think you have potential as a person. I just have one question for you. Who is the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend?
It's Brandon Allen.
This week.
Brandon Allen.
You didn't know that. Blair told you that. And Blair said it in his last question, and I still could tell you didn't know that. For that reason,
I did know it. I was wondering why you asked me, because Blair literally just said it.
Would you have known that had Blair not said that?
Yes, I did. Did I not tell you that they were busting our ass? He played against the Lions.
I think you did, yeah.
Okay.
I was at the game.
Did I change my mind? I'll make you an offer. I'm in.
Fuck you. I don't want you.
Yeah, they smoked us that game too. It was an absolute beatdown.
Trying to insult me.
No insult. I was just wondering. Deion, are you in or out for the record? He's 2-0 right now.
What do we know if the rest of the Browns are playing? Is it just Baker that's out?
Baker's out for sure. I know he's getting surgery. I mean, I don't see him. Why are they risking a game that means absolutely nothing? They got guys like Nick Chubb who has had injury history.
So is this another game where like you don't know if the starters aren't playing, but you're assuming they aren't?
I know 100% that Joe Burrow is not playing.
Okay, so the quarterback of the team you bet on, I'm out.
All right, Carter got 2 of 3. Carter, that was a great effort. Unfortunately, you are in second place out of 2 right now. Deion, go ahead. You're next.
Okay, so I gotta be honest. When G said the John Rahm odds, I really wanted to switch my picks. But Dolphins plus 215 at home against New England. I don't think the Patriots are going to play everybody. I don't really think they have a ton to play for necessarily. The Dolphins are kind of like the Lions. I'm going to give Cart's pitch on why the Lions would beat the Packers. They love to win these meaningless December, January games against New England at home. Since 2004 in December, January, the Dolphins are 8-2. I love Dolphins plus 215. It makes no sense, to be honest, because the Pats are really good and the Dolphins kind of stink, but they just can't. They don't lose to New England at home in December and January. They also beat the Pats week 1, 17-16. So I like Dolphins.
Do you have numbers to support that they don't lose to New England?
I just said they're 8-2 since 2004 in December and January at home against New England.
Okay, I like the research. I'm in.
Yeah, that's actually pretty ridiculous. I never, ever, I know the Dolphins have been the one team. I guess the Jets, when Sanchez, before, pre-butt fumble Sanchez, the Jets gave New England a little bit of trouble there, but I never would have guessed that Miami had that strong a record against them.
But it's only in Miami. Like when they play in New England,
that's still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I like that research, Deion. I'm out though.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. I'll say, I think it's an interesting spot. I think that's a game that you really got to monitor live, because if New England still is playing for something, if Buffalo somehow loses to the Jets and New England wins, they win the division. So it's one of those things where if you're gonna have to monitor the live situation. Like if New England goes up, 10-3 or something, and then they look at the scoreboard and the Bills are up 31-3 at halftime, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of take some people out in the second half, and you can get some good value there on Miami Moneyline live. So I think it's a great idea, but if the Jets do some crazy shit like they did last week with Tampa, that New England's going to be playing their asses off to get that game. So that's an interesting one to monitor.
That's also funny because the Jets were my other pick for this week. So
Yeah.
I was debating between Jets and
Right?
Dolphins. And then G said John Rahm plus 400. And I was like, all right, which one of these three am I going to go with?
Okay,
Right.
I just changed my mind, by the way, because I don't like that you brought 3 different pitches to Sharp Tank, and you're like now justifying that you wish you took the other one over the one you just picked.
No. I didn't say that. I was commenting based off what he said about the Jets and Bucks. Like,
Okay.
I do like the way the Jets are playing right now.
Yeah, I'm out.
Also, that comment lost you my deal. Also, I voted no because you voted no on mine straight up.
Blair, officially, are you in or out? Because he's 0 for 2 right now. This could be
I'm going to be out. I think the Jets are going to make it interesting, and I think the Jets are the Jets are my like kryptonite. I believe in them every week. The Jets. So I think, and I have money on the Patriots winning that division. So I'm going to believe it until I die that Buffalo's going to choke this one away.
No, I get that. For all our listeners out there, I'm one of the most like petty like individuals ever. Dolphins money line is now a 3-unit play. Like that's I mean, like I've never been more I need the Dolphins to win this game. And this might be more important than the Niners game to me now.
Wow. All right. I respect the heart, the hustle, all of it. Just yeah, I'm out. Okay, Blair, the moment our listeners have been waiting for. What's your pitch to the Sharp Tank?
Yeah. So I know I'm like an NFL guy, but like NBA same game parlays are like I love them so much. And even though I'm a Pistons fan, I watch an absurd amount of NBA games. I follow a lot of people. The Bulls, even though I live in Chicago, the Bulls are probably one of my favorite teams in the NBA. I love what they've done to change their roster. They are super underappreciated. There's a really, really interesting rematch with the Wizards tonight where DeRozan hit that buzzer beater. Or no, that wasn't one of his buzzer beaters. But that game was nuts, and it went back and forth. So the line I think is only like 225 for the total. When they played last week, the game got up to 240. So I'll take the over 225, and then I'll take both Levine and DeRozan to get 25 points. I think it's on FanDuel. It's like plus. Let me double check. That's plus 375. So that's pretty good value for two guys who average over 25 points a game. The Wizards have been scoring lately too. You could even throw Beal on there for 25 plus, or even maybe like 8 assists, 10 assists. It'd probably get you like plus 600. But I like that for like a little 3-leg same game parlay for tonight.
Okay, I have one question for you before. So obviously, if people are aware of who you are, they know you're famous for the long, crazy 10-leggers, 15-leggers.
Oh yeah, I will have.
Do you do? I mean, how often, like on a night, do you just have like some 3-leggers cooking on the side too?
So since not usually, like that's never been like my thing, never been like my go-to. But now that I have like the Discord up, I have a bigger following now. I'm trying to be more cautious of like the people that follow me and trust me and tail me. So I know that like I can't just put out 8-leg, 10-leg, 12-leg parlays all the time. People like, if I hit 3 out of 100 on those, I'm way in the positive. And so it's not really sustainable when people are like tailing you like that. So it's something I'm trying to get better at. One of the things that I've really loved doing lately is like these like ladder plays where you find interesting spots in the NBA. You bet on somebody to get like Gary Harris has been like one of the most profitable ladder point scorers in like the last like month since he came back from injury. His line is always like 11.5, 12.5. And you bet the over on that. You bet 15 plus, then you juice it. You bet 20 plus. You hit on all 3, and it's like a plus like 10 to 12 unit like ROI. So I'm trying to find more stuff like that I can incorporate in. So people are like, hey, I lost 9 parlays today. Like, what the hell? So it's definitely starting to become part of the repertoire, but it's an adjustment for me because I'm just a degenerate that looks for like these plus 20,000 parlays every night.
You're not a degenerate. You're passionate. That's the word.
Yeah, I'm passionate. I'm a passionate individual.
No such thing as a degenerate.
Right.
But Greg, can I go first on this?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. I love it because one, like you said, I think Levine and DeRozan, they could have the worst games of all time. They're going to sleepwalk to 25 points. So I think that's one. Jerome got stressed. Throw those in there. Those are money. I've actually been watching the Wizards more, whether I'm betting on them or betting against them. Mm-hmm. And I recently watched them play the Rockets, and this is going to open a wound for me. The Wizards were the last leg of my parlay.
Oh,
they were minus 385 money line to beat the Rockets.
So sorry.
And they lost on a Kevin Porter Jr. game winner. They couldn't check the Rockets, okay? The Rockets stink. I believe the Rockets had almost 110 plus points, something like that.
Yeah, like, quite a bit.
They're a team that has recently showed me they're just trying to get Kuzma, Beal to run and gun with people, outscore them. They're not really trying to play defense. Bradley Beal's been one of the worst defensive players in the NBA this year. People like to call him two-way player. Analytics don't match up with that. Kyle Kuzma, not a good defender. Just not a good defensive team. So, God damn it, Pierre. This is I like this parlay. I think it'll hit, so I'm in on it.
Love that.
I'm in on it too. The Wizards play 4 games this week. I think they played Monday, they play Wednesday, they play today, they play Sunday. I think they practiced after that Rockets game too, which means tired legs. It's going to be sloppy. I think they get to the over very easily. The Bulls probably score like 120 on their own. So I love this play, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you think it's going to be a blowout, you're basically just asking for Wizards to get 105, 106. Yeah. Like, it's pretty doable.
So I like the play a lot. Only thing that scares me with the totals for DeRozan and Levine would just be blowout potential, because I think the Bulls are great and I don't think the Wizards are very good. But I'm punishing myself. I like the bet and I want to tail it. I'm not allowing myself to tail it because I made a mistake. I didn't tell Blair that this show is going to air on Saturday and this game on a Friday. So because of that, I have to be out. I have to restrain myself from being out. And officially, Blair ends up with 2 out of 3.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
It's very fair. Blair, tell the people where they can find you, and hopefully we can get you back on Pushing Orange Juice in the future, man.
Yeah, so best place to find me is on Twitter, at Monty Parlay, Monty Parlay, Parlay. Yeah, I'm on there pretty frequently, putting up some free plays, and then I share a lot of stuff, on my Discord as well. So it's been fun. Last 3 months have been nuts for me, but the whole mobile sports betting thing is just absolutely amazing. It makes sports so much better.
Oh,
you gotta love it.
Wait, Blair, before you leave, Lions money line and go this weekend?
Oh, dude, how many times have the Packers beat us with like backup quarterbacks? I'm so nervous for that game. Like, this is when, Jordan Love, like when he played for the Chiefs, he looked terrible. When he played against the Chiefs, he looked terrible. And against the Lions, he's going to come out and throw like 4 touchdowns. It's just going to happen.
Oh, God damn it, Blair. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Blair. Good luck this weekend, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Blair.
Thanks, Blair.
All right, we have 3 minutes left. We're going to fly through this, fellas. And because of that, I'm going to set the tone, and I'm fucking going first on this to show you how quickly we actually need to be. We're into our best bets. I want to review how we did last week, because collectively, between the 3 of us, we went 3-6 in our 9 picks. That's horrible. That's not good.
In the positive, though.
2 of us are in the positive. Carter, shout out you. Sleepers Media, my brother. I feel like we've been very like this today. I want to do a little togetherness here. Dion, you're negative by a lot, and we'll get into that in just a second. All right, so my picks last week, I was 1 for 3. Alabama minus 13.5 carried me, carried Carter as well, and we were confident and smart enough to know that we should put all of our money, basically all of our money, on Alabama minus 13.5. Miss on Michigan, and then I missed on a parlay that lost 3 of 4 legs and should have been 4. That was a really horrible play. My picks this week, though, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go with another parlay for my third. My play that I like to start is Georgia minus 2.5, $115 to win 100. I'm putting the majority of my budget, though, on Michigan State money line to beat Michigan. You'll hear from Carter in just a moment. I stole this idea from him. We won last week big together. We're going to do it again this week together. I bet this game opens up as a pick'em. And if it's pick'em, I'm putting $285 on it. I might even do Michigan State alternate line minus 10.5. I think they're going to blow Michigan out, stick a fork in them. They're done. But whatever that comes out as this weekend, that is my play, $285, hopefully to win around $280. And then a moneyline parlay of Georgia North Dakota State in the other football championship this weekend. They're like minus 300 favorites. I like the Chiefs. I like the Ravens. I like the Cardinals. I like the Bucks. $100 to win $5.95. Those are my plays. I am up $72 on the year, tied for Carter in first. Carter, you go next.
All right. Well, damn, those Reds hurt me. But as Gregory said, Alabama minus 13.5. Never in doubt. That was my biggest play for a reason. Knew it hit. Ole Miss Baylor game, Matt Corral got hurt on the very first drive. Just absolute heartbreaker. And then Notre Dame minus 2.5, I thought was money, but Marcus Freeman and Sam Cohn or Jack Cohn, I think it's Jack Cohn, absolutely imploded. Still up $72 on the week, 1 and 2 like Gregory. But I got 3 more that's going to get me in the way more positive and get me above that 1 minus 2. Okay, first of all, Lions money line. Already talked about it earlier in here. Lions win these games. This is what they do. It always happens. Go ahead and do it. You'll feel good about it. Second, we have PSG versus Lyon in League money line, the France Football League. PSG has Leo Messi coming back. Lyon has a bunch of players that are missing from their starting lineup, either due to COVID or due to the African Cup of Nations tournament that's going on right now. So some of their best players aren't even going to be there. PSG still has Messi, Mbappe, Sergio Ramos is returning from injury. PSG is clearly the more talented team. It's a rivalry, so they're going to be, hyped up to play. Haven't played in a minute as well. I love PSG getting at minus 110. That's great value. And then, as Greg said, MSU money line, 100 to win whatever it is. It'll probably pick them. Stick a fork in them. They're done.
Georgia minus 7.5 didn't hit, G. 34-11.
That's my bad.
Yeah, it is. It is your bad. I'm in first place in a runaway, by the way. I'm up like $200 on you guys. Let's just get to my picks this week. They don't need to see this. They know who's in first place. Only 3 bets hit last week because you 2 idiots won the same bet and I won 2. That's why we were a collective 3 and 6. Anyway, I got Bama money line. I already spoke on that. Packers minus 3.5. Didn't know that was on there. Love that bet still, especially now that we know no one knows if Aaron Rodgers is playing or not. Jets plus 16. They've played their last 3 games very close. I'm not saying they win, but I definitely think they cover that. The Bills aren't very good either. So, yeah.
I like Jets plus 16. That's my bad. I mean, that's just simply a miss. Before we wrap, we do just quickly have to say Carter's attempted submission for his best bets this week was a game tonight that is between Oakland University men's basketball and like a Division III school. And it was Oakland minus 15. That's what the ESPN app shows is the line. You can't find that line anywhere at any sports book. And Carter submitted that as his best bet. And it's a game being played tonight, Friday night. And this show comes out on a Saturday.
I'm just saying, you can find it live. Real quick, G, I know you got to go. They're playing an NAIA school who is 2-11 with blowout losses to Siena Heights and a loss to Division II University of Findlay by 30 points. This Oakland team's actually good. Jamal Cain is good. This team has beat Division I teams by 30.
Hey, his best punch almost took down Michigan State, man. I know. Jamal Cain.
Okay. Hey, you're hating on it, but I know come 7 o'clock, you're going to be refreshing the live app trying to find this game to bet it. I know that.
I am going to. I'm going to try to find it live. Carter, listen, I'm with you, my friend. I know this has been an antagonistic energy today. Dion, I'm sorry. I fucked you on the numbers. Carter, I'm sorry. We agree on our bets this week. I don't know why we're clashing. This is Pushing Orange Juice. We're a family. We got to win these bets together. Hopefully the people enjoyed it. We're 3 minutes over. I'm late for a call. So for Dion, for Carter, my name is Greg Waddell, Pushing Orange Juice. Follow us at Multiplicity Media. I forget what the handle is. We'll see y'all next week.